cause I be busting the dope moves. But the problem stay the same. How you riding for the cash when you ain't riding in my lane? Shorty all about the paper, so your mixture look the same. In the game I play the lane like Eddie Kane, cause I be busting the dope moves.
I just said it to you. Oh, that ain't, or you just called me back?
No, I was working.
Oh, you at work?
For a couple minutes, yeah.
Oh, man, the next one is the worst.
What?
Your next close-up, man.
On what?
You the funniest nigga in the world to me, yo. I just want you to know that I enjoy laughing at these videos after I make them. I figured you out, though, so it's not fun anymore. You think you a Native American, Hebrew Israelite more.
You know you're the only one that just keeps saying the same thing. That don't make it true. You know this.
But I'm starting to show you the pictures. I'm starting to show you the facts behind what I'm saying. I'm not going to keep doing that because it's too long and it's too much. I can't make every video like that. I refuse.
Why do you want me to be a Native American? So
no. You said you were a Native American. I didn't say that.
I said me personally, but the people around the black people,
yeah, so
they more than that.
About blacks.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Blacks. I don't want to talk about you per se. You told me you got Native American.
And I said you disrespecting them. And that's what I said.
You said you got Native American grandparents.
I do personally, yeah.
Okay, and I'm sure you're not the only one, right?
I don't think it's everybody, no.
Okay.
But I still think indigenous, yeah.
All right. So like I said, just to.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I just don't understand it. Do you know what that word indigenous means?
That's like me just keep calling you African. You do the same. I'm not on that level. I'm not doing that to you.
What I'm saying
You do that to me, though.
No, I don't. I tell you that your ancestry is more African than anything else. You have white people in your ancestry, too. You told me this yourself.
For sure.
And that's my point. That don't make you white. That means it's mixed.
Not at all.
It means it's mixed into your African DNA. I've explained this. You have more African grandfathers and grandmothers than you have Native American or Caucasian grandfathers or grandmothers. This is why your skin is black or brown. Because that doesn't happen for a white person who has one black grandfather amongst 1,000 white grandfathers. It doesn't work like that for him. He's not black. That's the difference. When the joint that's about to come out, when you be talking about the Moors.
But you're using this word black. Everybody black. That's not
I'm
Caucasian,
not saying
so
that. What I'm
I
saying
really don't get it.
what I'm saying is the people who have black or brown skin, Paco, all across the earth, come from African people. Some of the people who have tan and red skin do too, but not most of them. There is a small group of people on earth, especially in America and especially in Asia, who come originally from black people. That's what I say when I say get assimilated. The Ainu got assimilated into, as you and me call them, the yellow population. So there's only certain pure blood Ainus left. This is how it works with Israel. Canaanites did not believe what Israelites believed, but Israelites invaded Canaan and took that land and brought that religion in. It's the same thing with the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians went into Europe and they civilized white folks. They gave them X, Y, and Z. The difference is they didn't necessarily make slaves out of them. Some of their enemies they made slaves out of, but some of them they made friends with. So this is why you got African nations in Europe. Because we civilized those nations. The Phoenicians is just a group of those people. The Moors is the culture. Judaism was not their religion if you're talking about Canaanites. If you're talking about
they didn't even call themselves Moors. They just was niggas.
No, later on down the line, the Moors culture became a thing due to trade posts, due to trade routes, due to people.
To the outsiders looking in, that's what they called them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Correct, to the white folks, because now they was doing business with the whites. Now they was living amongst the whites. Until Rome got big and powerful. Then things changed. So, like I said, we get lost in translation.
That was the capital, yeah. And they just took the niggas out. Yeah.
Because you be thinking singular sometimes.
I don't.
You grouping all those North Africans together. But if you just look at the timeline, they're not even all the same. Some is after invasion.
That's what I keep telling you.
Like
Israel.
Like Israel. Yeah. Israel is a mixed place, right?
I don't know what you be talking about. I really got to figure this out. Israel be mixed place.
Israel is a mixed place. The people we will call Israelites don't
today.
Yes, or for the last 1,000 years maybe.
I mean, they just start calling. Okay, whatever. 100 years
for like the last 1,000 years.
Then people are,
because I believe they invaded in like what 300 and something BC or 300 and something AD.
Who?
The Israelites. They invaded Canaan.
All right, so you talking about like ancient Jews, not the ones.
I'm talking about the people who go on to become Jews. Before they were Jews, they were Canaanites, or like you like to call the culture.
Yeah, like they was Moors. Just like you said, they're all the same thing. I'm gonna keep telling you that.
But they're not necessarily all Moors, Paco. That's just the culture that's
some left, and they call themselves Hebrews. Yeah.
No. That's not what happened.
It's a fix, bro.
That's not what happened. People invaded. Took over.
Religions tell you that. What the fuck is you
Paco,
talking about,
people
man?
Invaded. Took
even
over.
In the Bible, it say they came from the Moors. Like what?
In the Bible, it takes.
I don't get it, bro.
In the Bible, it say for the Canaanites to cast out the motherfucking invaders, right? And they never did that. They wasn't strong enough to do it militarily, right? It says in the Bible for the Canaanites to cast out. Some were worshiping the same Moor gods, which is Moloch, and the rest of them. Paco,
and the other ones.
What is Moorish religion? Is it?
I just told you that
you told me
religion is irrelevant.
Exactly. When you're talking about Moors, we agree there. They can have different religions, right? So don't talk about their religion. Don't signify them by the religion like you just did.
I never did.
You just did it.
You hear me do that?
You just did it. You said just like the Moorish religion, which is not even a fucking religion.
The original.
But how can you?
All I was saying.
All right, which would be what?
It's like that the Moloch.
It would be the Canaanite shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So my point is, you don't get the shit you talking about, Hebrew or Judaism, until it's invaded and it becomes a mixed motherfucking state. Those people it doesn't come into play, Paco. It's not a thing when it's Canaan. This is why. Think about what the Bible said. You using the Bible, I'm gonna use it too. It says
I'm sure it was black Canaanites, white Canaanites. And
no. I'm not disputing the color of their skin. I'm disputing what the people who ran in on them believed. The people who came into Canaan did not believe what Canaanites believed. And when they came in and took over, there was a new motherfucking law, a new religion in place. It's called Judaism. The Canaanites or the black people who inhabited that land by themselves.
You're not telling me nothing else. They all is Judaism or the Kabbalah, Torah. It's all the same thing.
I'm agreeing with you that all the Abrahamic religions is practically identical, damn near to the T. My point that I'm making to you is before the Abrahamic religion, the black people who I would call North Africans did not believe that. They did not believe in the Hebrew shit that you talking about. Judaism was not a thing in Canaan.
I think they did. It was the same thing back then too. So I don't know what you want me to say. It's still
what
the
I'm
same.
saying is, why believe in Hebrew anything?
What you're really doing is just worshiping that same stuff you're talking about.
I don't worship none of it. I don't believe it. I don't believe in none of it.
I'm not saying you personally. I'm just saying all the religions is that same shit from back then that you keep acting like don't exist. They know where it came from.
It's certain stories from it. Yeah, we agree. Yes, absolutely. There's certain stories from different religions and different shit. I agree with you 100%. Yes. So we can both agree that it's not God's word, right? That would make it fake.
No, I don't believe the Bible is God's word at 1%. That's not what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. So how do all these religions tie together? If that's the case?
Because it all boils down to them 10 because all the religions boil down to them 10 laws.
But it's more than 10 laws that's added in the religion.
No, I'm just telling you, but most all the religions, yeah, that basically boils down to that.
For that group. Islam got 12 pillars of faith, and they got 99 pearls of faith and 12 pillars of Islam.
And the Bible got just as many. They just don't
right. They structured differently.
Yeah,
and that's all. So my point is, no, Moses didn't come with them all. There's other shit in the Bible that God supposedly said to somebody else that he ain't say to Moses.
Because it's the ABC version. He just gave you the 10 laws you need to be following. That's what happened.
So I guess I think I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say it's not real, but because some of the principles make sense, everybody from the Native Americans to the people in Asia who are samurai, to the motherfuckers in Australia, to the people in the Middle East and the people in Africa, they all follow it because it makes sense.
Well, that and you just want a big group.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure that people who create a cult or some type of they will want a big group. I'm sure.
Yeah.
The more followers, the better, the stronger your cult. I get that, but I'm saying for how can we define people like that? How can we define people as Hebrews then? Since we know now what Hebrew is. Some invading niggas coming into Canaan, taking over shit that's not theirs. The Canaanites, not necessarily forcing them out, not necessarily forcing them all to be slaves, but somewhat living amongst each other. There is some fighting, there is some mixing that goes on, but living amongst each other, having orchestrated marriages, indoctrinating the same religion.
I told you in the beginning, religion ain't nothing but an art of war.
I can agree with that.
And that's basically all it is, to tell you one person better than the next.
So why would we classify all these people as Hebrews?
Because from the time immemorial, mostly they just all had love for the one Most High God. That all the religions today even tell you that you should have some type of.
But I'm sure the religions today
would something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, but something bigger than yourself could be given to the people around you. They don't have to be believing in something that somebody else told you to believe in.
But that's why I'm a Buddhist. I think everybody God. I think
even Buddhism.
I think trees has got something to do with God. I think everything got something to do with God.
If my memory serves me correctly, that's based off of monotheism, one God, and the Buddhism is one God.
He just was one guy that was teaching everybody else to kind of be like him.
Right, he wasn't allowed outside forever, right?
Yeah,
he was in his father's palace, and he wasn't allowed outside till he was like 30-something years old. Then when he went outside, he finally got, like his dad wouldn't let him see dead rose petals. His father, the emperor, wouldn't let him see a dead body ever in his life, so he didn't know nothing about death. When he went out in the world, he found out about all that shit, and he tried to teach people how to get to enlightenment. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that not the same thing, Paco?
The same thing as what?
As these other religions. He went out with the word of.
I mean, he had some resolve with his. He proved it. Like, he was trying to prove what he was saying. Not that he was perfect. He wasn't perfect whatsoever.
I don't think he was right. I agree with you, but what I'm saying is, how can any of that shit be taken serious when they say it's going to take you to God or to heaven? How can you take any of that serious?
Well, it's kind of, most of them just telling you you're going to kind of reincarnate.
I understand that Buddhism
that energy is forever.
Reincarnate.
The energy is forever, and plus, I mean, you need to meditate.
I understand all that. I'm not disagreeing with you on none of that. You're probably right. My point is, because these when you claim something, you have to have proof. So for anybody who says God ever taught,
Buddha's real, bro.
I'm not saying Buddha's not real. I'm saying
that guy
Buddha. I'm saying Buddha reaching a level of enlightenment that's not of this world. He cannot prove that to nobody else.
And anyway, who Jesus was supposed to be following? He went to the Buddhist camp, and he was a Buddhist for a couple of years.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that.
That's where they say it in the Bible. He went to the Buddhist.
I never read the whole Bible.
Well, the version that Jesus is in, when all them lost years, because he popped up all of a sudden when he was 32. to the people. Before that, he was a Buddhist.
Before that, he was a baby. That's all
Before
I remember.
32? No, he was a teenager. Then he was a 20-year-old.
He was a baby, and he was in a manger. I remember that part.
Yeah, then they skipped. But I'm telling you the fact that he was a Buddhist.
I don't know. I don't know nothing.
He was. It said it right in the Bible. Clear as day.
I don't follow religion. I don't. I just know that to signify, like, I listen to these Jones, and every time I told you, A, you're singular. B, you don't understand the timeline. C, you lump people together as, like, because they lived.
I understand everything. It's all you. You tell me your problems. You got to look in the mirror when you say this stuff.
This is you. You the same one who think that the Ainu, which is, or let's not even say the Ainu. You the same one who think that the inhabiting black people who originally founded Japan are the same people who 9,000 years ago was the samurai exclusively, when they wasn't even the majority of the population.
I mean, that's fact. I don't even know what you're saying, man. You got to. I thought you knew more than that. What's going on?
Let me ask you this: who is the majority of the United States military?
Caucasians.
Why?
Because they took us out of position and built the army.
Is that the reason why they're the majority of that army?
It seems to be, yeah.
Or is it something like what they would call per capita?
Nah, I don't believe in all that, nah.
So you telling me if I'm building an army and I have 40 million blacks, 50 million Hispanics, I have 17 million Asians, and I have 190 million whites, what's the odds that my military would be primarily black or primarily Hispanic or primarily Asian? When those three groups combine,
when I watch wars back in like 2000 and when they used to show wars on YouTube and stuff, I see black people in the front lines.
I'm not disputing what you're saying, but
I don't really.
But you're not signifying where that war is that you've seen. Depending on where the war is, we'll see who's in the front line. But that's still, again, let me finish my statement. Who's in the front line does not determine who's the majority of your military. That
it does not. That's not what I'm saying.
All right, go ahead.
So it's comprised of multiple nationalities, but
agreed.
Since the white people have the government here, it's the upper echelon is Caucasians.
No, I'm not talking about the upper echelon of the military. I'm talking about if I have China has a military of what, 1 billion people or something?
So you want to compare it? Like, I don't know the stats you're talking about. You're just talking about the soldiers, because of course the higher ups will be Caucasian.
It's entire military, but I'm asking you why. It's a simple answer. Now, you can tiptoe around that answer, but the answer... I
don't even know what you're talking about to tiptoe around nothing.
I'm asking you why.
You want to say there's more white people in the United States? That's what you want to say?
That's the answer. That's why...
I mean, I'm not impressed with your stats. You just be talking out your ass.
It's just basic. I'm cool. It's basic common sense and logic. If I have more white people... So why are most of the police and most of the firemen and most of the people who die in a car crash any given year, and most of the people who die of drug overdose any given year, why can people say there's more white people in jail than black people?
Because it is more white people here. I'm not saying that,
exactly.
But you just want to act like it's a massive amount.
It is. It's over 190 million of them in North America.
Because that news told you, Fox News and CNN told you that. I'm not with y'all.
No. Every census taken tells you that. Every census taken tells you that.
Just like black people will lead the coronavirus. I don't fuck with y'all.
But those are two separate things. But those are two separate things. Those two things have nothing to do with each other. Phone.
I'm telling you, believe everything you hear.
I'm not saying that I believe everything.
And not what you say.
Paco, so let me ask you this. How come a place where black...
Let me ask you this. Is we 13%? That's it? After all these deaths and all this shit you talking about, they incorporate all that shit.
Yeah, but we still 13%. That stuff happens to us too. That not just them. It happens to all of us, but it's going to happen to more of them. It's like when a black person says, you know how a black girl sometimes gets offended, and she says there's more white people on welfare than black people. Of course, girl, because there's more white people in the country. Per capita, black people are higher. So if there's only 40 million...
I mean, they hide white stats in the news that you watch.
I'm not saying that they don't. I don't even watch the news. I don't watch the news. And
so why are you giving me their history?
I'm not giving you anything from the news. I'm not giving you anything from the news. These are not their numbers. I can do the same thing with South America. I can do the same thing with Asia. The reason why Mongoloids are the biggest part of the Asian army, Chinese army, Japanese army, Korean army, is because there are more of them in the continent of Asia than those brown and black people that we see. Yes, there are brown and black people here. Yes, there is. But there are far more of those yellow people because I explained this before. They were mixing in different parts of Asia at different times. They don't all come from the same people. There are different mixtures of those yellow Mongoloids that inhabit Asia today. They're not all from the same group of people. Some are 30,000 years old, some are 20,000 years old, some are 8,000 years old. They're not all the same. That's why there's so many of them, because these groups were populating all over North and Central Asia around a course of, I don't know, the last 20 to 80,000 years. So long they've been doing it that they mix with archaic humans that don't even live here no more. That's how long, and I'm not talking about the black folks, because even, we can tell the black folks did too. Because some of the black folks have those same archaic genes in their DNA. I
like to, whatever you do, be cutting your nose to spite your face. Like your knowledge is be cutting your nose to spite your face.
It can't be. You just can't. Right. You're not good at numbers.
People got kicked off of TV for acting like Jesus was white. Nigga, all this shit is a lie, bro.
We never said, hey,
I'm telling you that TV shit is a lie. That's what I'm telling
you. Is the numbers I'm giving you,
that
not from TV.
When you search Google and look up the first couple things, half the time it's a lie, bro.
There are more people who they classify as Hispanic, and everybody might not agree with them, with the people saying they're Hispanic being Hispanic.
To me, they dumb African American / black people, whatever you want to call them.
Some of them ain't African American. You do understand that. Some of them are less African.
No, I'm not saying it like that.
Some of them are less African than they are European or maybe even a Native American population that was already here.
I'm just saying they are brothers and sisters, basically. That's it.
I agree with you. I agree with you to a certain extent. When it comes to people as what they identify of the choices that's available, I don't agree with the choices that's available. I'll be the first one to say that. I'll be the first one who thinks there should be more mixed categories, but I understand how they might find the results or trying to produce the results as being frustrating or hard because people is picking different categories that they feel should be lumped in with other people. But I personally feel some of those people shouldn't be lumped in with certain people.
For sure.
I feel that way. Like the whole non-Hispanic and, non-white Hispanic. So people who are historically Spanish speaking from South America or from the bottom of North America, but they're not black or they're not Native American. The problem with that is certain people who are black and are Native American who have that in them will put down their white Hispanic. They will identify as white. So even if I grant you 50 million fake white people who believe they're fake, I'll grant you that. You're still talking about 140 million white folks versus 55 people who identify as Hispanic, about 17 million people who identify as Asian, and about 40-something, close to 48 million black people who identify as African American or black. This is what I'm saying to you. The only way they were able to do what they've done, Pac, is because of their numbers in which they came in. I'm not saying that the whites that came in was all powerful whites. That's not the point. It's once white people started to lose their grip on their black slaves that all white people unified as one race, the white race in America. They were no longer French American. They were no longer English American. They were no longer British American because they had a common person who they could all agree, we ain't them. And these motherfuckers is getting out of hand. The people,
they just not to infiltrate, just like they did.
I'm not saying that they don't, but Paco, they infiltrated a certain way. and they can prove it with who does what. Spanish is more spoken in South America than it is in North America. That lets you know where the Spanish has shit on lock at.
Yeah, for
English
sure.
is the
Common
language,
sense.
exactly, common sense. English is the language in North America. That lets you know where the English and the British finally held they shit down. In a certain part of Louisiana, they call the French Quarter. A lot of French speakers and Creole speakers and Cajun speakers, which is Cajun, white slaves of French descent, and Creole, black slaves of French descent. So they speak the language of their master or their slave master at the time. So what I'm saying to you is this: all this shit pans out. The reason why they couldn't do in Africa or Asia what they did in America is because of the lack of population. We both agree black people was here before some fucking Europeans. We both agree there. You can make an argument that Louisiana herself.
But you said it was Native Americans.
And that's what
last year, just last year.
I said it just
Matter of
last
fact,
week.
this week.
I said it just last week. And I still believe that because I have no evidence of black people being here and not.
Because you watched Apocalypto, because you fucking seen some fucking
to do with Apocalypto.
School books. You seen some fucking school books.
It has to do with this. I'm going to tell you my
But you don't see the black niggas photos and shit.
I'll tell you my reason why. Well, photos didn't exist in the time that me and you speaking about.
But it says you.
Paco, we talking about 3000 BC.
So they got black Indian pictures, and then they got white people posing.
But they don't
then they got your Native Americans posing.
Paco, white people wasn't here in 3000 BC. White people just got to America.
Why you keep switching timelines? I was talking about 100 years ago, 300 years ago.
But I'm not. I'm trying to talk.
Why you keep jumping back and forth, nigga? Give me a date then.
All right, the date is 2100 BC. The date of the Olmecs. People that I believe is black.
All right, so now you don't went from just now to jumping back to, okay.
I'm going to tell you how long I believe.
Because I'm so lost in time, but you doing it.
I'm telling you, I'm not lost in time. I realized that point you talking about 100 years ago, Paco, 1900.
You was like, samurais have been around. Them samurais, man. And the samurais you talking about 100 years ago, 200, 300 years ago.
The samurais,
Yakamachi and shit.
Paco, the samurais I'm talking about is 1,000 years ago. I'm talking about 11.
They the samurais I'll be rapping about.
Paco.
I don't know who you be talking about.
Now since we have to go back to this, Paco, in 1100 AD, remember it's the year 2020 AD right now. 1100 AD, Paco, that's less than 1,000 years ago. 2100 AD, 2100.
Okay, black motherfuckers still was there.
I'm not saying they wasn't,
what they was.
But Paco, they wasn't no ruling class like you said. They wasn't the majority.
No, they probably wasn't.
Paco,
no,
they wasn't the majority of the population 1,000
I just
years
said no.
ago. Okay, so that's why I'm explaining to you the same way.
But that don't got to do with the pop. Like they
yes, it do, Paco.
God,
these people had been took over that land thousands of years prior to that.
They was the majority, but you actually.
Paco,
like,
yes, they were the majority. Therefore, the majority of the people in their military, whether you talking about naval people, whether you talking about samurais, generals.
Black people wasn't all these things you talking about.
I'm not saying they wasn't, and I told you in the last video, I don't disagree that they started it. I don't disagree with you there. But when you start talking about, I'm talking about the niggas in the armor, Paco. When you see the yellow people,
niggas.
Exactly, and I'm explaining to you.
Not them leather fucking, black fucking leather armor ass fucking niggas that you call samurais.
But Paco, what armor are you talking about?
You talking about them niggas who be wearing them uniforms, that be uniform with the black leather, with the leather ass helmets.
And the demon man.
Come on, bro. This shit ain't no fucking fetish play shit, nigga. I'm talking about some real fucking niggas, man.
But Paco, do you understand that when the samurai first started their tradition, they weapons and armor wasn't upgraded to the level that you like?
No, motherfucker had to build them shits with their hand, nigga. You cut a nigga head off, Paco, you take his spine, you make a motherfucking helmet, nigga.
Things have to advance. It's like technology. It takes time for it to advance. I'm talking about the most primitive form of samurai. I'm talking about the originators of
the ones with the raiding sticks, nigga. Yeah.
Some of them had sticks. Some of them had motherfucking, like you said, those wooden joints.
Maces, nigga.
Maces, all types of shit. You right. What's the other joint? Some of them had hammers. It's a whole bunch of shit. And what I'm saying to you is this.
They was tall as shit too, nigga. They was Shaq, nigga, beating shit up.
Oh, my God. Some of them might have been, but you can't group them all together like that. because they don't all go together like that. There's different eras of it. Just like, I'll give you a prime example. You said it yourself, Yusuke. Yusuke is not in the beginning of samurai culture. Yusuke
is slave.
Exactly. He is in the era where the people, the yellow people, is running shit. Just like the white boy, the story they tell in the Last Samurai, that bullshit, right? There is a white dude. There is a white dude who traded on his government and joined the samurai. This is a fact. It did happen. They did accept the European into their motherfucking house.
Absolutely. So all the religions in space actually do that.
No, I'm talking about that. You remember that movie where they had The Last Samurai and Tom Cruise was in it?
It's that white people and black. I mean,
what I'm saying is there is one dude who's known, and he was a white European samurai who traded on his people.
Back in them days that you talking about, I'm sure. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And what I'm explaining to you is
I'm cosplaying
from the way I understand it, black people founded Japan over 9,000 years ago.
For sure, yeah.
Now, less than 9,000 years ago, I don't want to throw a number out there because I'm not sure when the yellow people came, but I know it was thousands of years before samurais ever existed. These people came and they started to either assimilate with the black people who would assimilate with them.
They was in China. Them people you talking about was in China.
But I'm talking about the people who came to Japan. Once you
that's the Chinese people.
I mean,
the original Chinese people.
You might be right. I don't know. I just know that you fast forward a little bit to when the Mongolian army is invading around 12 and 13 and 1400 AD.
So we're in the barbarian ages. All right, come on.
So you're going to see that the samurai has been a thing for a few hundred years now. You're going to see that ships have been around for hundreds of years now. People have had ships. They have naval battles.
Well, obviously, them Chinese people had ships because they wouldn't have been in Japan. So.
Right, just like the people in Australia. And the people in Australia been there how long?
Yeah, and the Australian people shipped over to China and mixed with the Innu, yeah.
I don't know nothing about that. From what I understand,
I keep telling you, bro, this is all facts.
The way I understand it is the people who left out of Africa in that migration went on to be the Australians, went on to be the Ainu, went on to be the Andaman Islanders, the Senegalese. That's what I was led to believe. That's why they share DNA. That's what I was led to believe in, and that's how I understood what I read.
It was a mix between the Innu and the damn Australians.
Well, see, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying to you
is for some reason, they was big as hell, and the Innu was small, so obviously it seemed like the Australian people won.
But when did these people fight? Where does this war call? Where is this recorded at?
I mean, look up Chinese history, and anyway, just put that, like, what they call it, like that, not the mandate to heaven, but it's called a certain period over there in China. If you keep looking back, because China got the most stories, in my opinion. All those places got some long stories.
They do.
And just like I'm still learning about Indian stories and learning different Indian cultures, you can't just learn the shit overnight. You got to look it up yourself.
But first thing you can do, I'm not trying to learn everybody's culture. I'm not into that.
I got books of it.
I don't care about people.
So I don't forget.
I don't care about people culture. I don't care
about. I do care about Chinese culture, even though I ain't got nothing to do with it.
I don't care nothing about it.
Ancient Chinese culture was sterile.
Some of it, I guess. They have some fucked up. Every culture has good and has bad.
And that's why we watch kung fu movies.
Only thing I'm saying is, at the end of the day, a lot of their culture come from Africa. A lot.
For sure.
And
probably the whole thing. A lot of it, yeah.
And that's my point.
It was Africans versus Australians. What do you expect?
I don't know nothing about that neither.
I told you that's China. All you got to look up the Yellow River, ancient Yellow River, and the wars going on.
About Australians fighting Africans.
Listen, just put ancient Yellow River and then put war. You'll figure it out on your own.
I know that Africans left Africa. And when they left Africa, that's part of the reason why they try to sell people such a short date.
And then you don't be telling the whole history. Like, it probably was some Africans that went over there and took the fuck over. What the fuck?
Nah, the Africans went over there and found that shit. The Australoids are Africans. They come from Africans. We just had this you act like you can't remember.
I never admitted to that, and I think you
Paco,
just went on that. I never said that.
We had a conversation about how when things go to different places, they change.
Man, I'm gonna tell you for a fact, I never ever heard that ever.
Paco,
You're the only person that say that.
I sent it to you. You want me to read it to you right now?
That Australian people
Come from Africa. I can read it to you right now if you would like.
State the source. State the source.
I can state multiple sources, and you can tell me which you can tell me which one is good enough for you.
Okay.
Australians.
After this, I gotta go back to work, but I just want you to look dumb as hell, man.
Okay. All right. Is theatlantic.com good enough?
Atlantic.com.
Is New York Times good enough?
Definitely not.
Is what is CAM ACUK? I don't even know what that is.
I mean, New York Times definitely no. I don't like white people don't trust that whatsoever, but I guess you do. But anyway,
is National Geographic cool?
No, not for real. No, not at all. Until they prove my point, which cut you. But other than that, no.
Listen, I'm just gonna read what the National Geographic has. I'll read another source after that if you would like. But it says Aboriginal Australians. Aboriginal Australians could be the oldest populations of human living outside of Africa, where one theory says they migrated from in boats 70,000 years ago. Now I'll go.
Can we be done? Can we done? We done, right? Theory, one theory.
Paco.
That's Brock. You killing yourself, my nigga. You killing yourself. You killing yourself.
Okay. I'll go to another one. Science.com or Science Journal, is it called?
That's way better.
Magazine. I'm sorry. I never heard of it, but
we can go there. That's random, but I mean, it's probably the closest you're gonna get to what you're looking for.
All right. It says a find in Australia hints at a very early human exit from Africa. An archaeologist, Chris Clarkskin, was excavating a rock shelter in northern Australia one day in 2015. May Nanglo. 2015. And yeah, this person, whoever Chris Clarkson is, I don't know who that is.
So it took till 2015 to say somebody from Africa. Go ahead.
This is just one article. I just
read it.
I just
said 2014. I'm saying the keywords. Go ahead.
I sent you a video on this.
That they found something in 2014 that say Australians is from Africa. That's what you sent me?
Indigenous Australians are people who descended from groups that live in Australia and surrounding islands before British colonization. They include the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples of Australia. The term Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people is referred to by many. First Nations of Australia, First Peoples of Australia, First Australians are increasingly common terms. The time of arrival of the first peoples on the continent and nearby islands is a matter of debate among researchers. A
nearby island, Madagascar?
Madagascar is in Africa.
Oh my God!
You understand?
Zealand, New Zealand, where are we at?
Madagascar is in Africa.
I didn't say it wasn't, but it's not touching. It's just considered Africa.
So again,
it's considered Africa, yeah.
No, it is Africa.
Yeah.
It's part of the Africa. Yes, it is, brother.
Okay, you can say that.
So you saying that now Africa can't have islands? Because that's not the only islands they have. They have
Chinese islands ain't China. Japanese claim them, and the Chinese people claim them. Who cares?
Japan is islands, right? Okay, so let's go to it. The time
Africa is not Madagascar, bro. Keep fucking going. Keep going, man.
Madagascar is not in Africa?
First of all, the island they talking about is Lemuria, because that's what I think. That's what I think, bro.
So Madagascar, so if I look up Madagascar, it won't tell me it's a country in East Africa.
All the stuff line up to Lemuria, but go ahead, bro.
Paco, if I do I have to look
Madagascar not Africa, bro. It's next to Africa. It's an island.
So all right, as soon as
it's not on the landmass, no.
I'm done proving you wrong here. Like I told you this before, the earliest
it's an island next to Africa, bro.
I'm gonna get to that in 2 seconds.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna get to that in 2 seconds because I got you with something I've been telling you for years. The earliest conclusive human remains found in Australia are those of the Mungo man, LM3.
Where you at? What's the source? What's the source?
I told you, the motherfucking Science Journal.
All right, we still there? All right, go ahead.
So look, it says LM3, right? The Mungo man and the Mungo woman discovered 42,000 years ago, or 42,000 years old.
So now you spitting out DNA sequences. You still there?
Yeah,
You still in the Science Journal? Okay.
Yeah.
And this is what's telling you about this Mongo man. All right, come on.
I'm trying to find what I'm looking for, and not go through all this shit about burials and shit.
Because it's really not saying it came from Africa yet, but I'm waiting. Madagascar, Africa. I can't believe you. I can't believe the fucking nonsense, yo. Yes, today we call it Africa. Yes, I can point at something and call it mine.
I'm right back to this, but I'm going to look up Madagascar. It's going to tell you it's in Africa. So when
oh my God, is it touching the landmass, bro? Is it touching the landmass?
To be.
Wow.
Places have islands, Paco.
Yeah, and that's not the islands.
It does.
Hawaii's not America.
All right,
Hawaii's not America. They claim it.
When you look up Madagascar, the first thing that pops up.
Hawaii was on their own till America put their shit there, nigga.
So
shit, what are you talking about, bro?
When you look up Madagascar, it says Madagascar is a country in East Africa. Madagascar, officially the Republic of Madagascar, and previously known as the Malagasy Republic, is an island country in the Indian Ocean, approximately 400 kilometers off the coast of East Africa.
Okay, it's an island. Didn't I just say that?
That's an African island. What's your point? You can't say
What's your point?
You can't say because it don't touch something what it ain't.
It's not touching the land. That's what an island is, bro.
It doesn't matter. So let me ask you this: the islands that come off of Australia, they not part of Australia?
No.
What are they part of?
The
islands that are
right part of themselves, nigga.
The islands right next to Australia, Paco. The ones that are right, Australia is not just one. Oh my God.
Bro, we arguing about an island. You know that, right?
And you
know ISLAND. You know what that? Do you know what that says? Right. It's an island. It's an island.
Let's do it like this. Aborigines, the first out of Africa, the first in Asia and Australia. DNA analysis of a 90-year-old hair sample reveals that
you know the island they made in Dubai? That's their island. You know the one that the Dubai people made and they built it up? That's a Dubai island, bro.
Have that argument with you.
That's theirs. They made it.
Because they didn't.
Something that grew out the fucking sea that don't touch the land is a fucking island.
Yeah, but it's an island of Africa. Africa has more islands than Madagascar.
I'm sure they do.
The only island that is part of Africa.
I'm sure there's plenty of islands around Africa. I'm sure there's thousands of them around Africa. That don't make them African.
Paco, those islands are still African islands.
You see how you kind of get points and you say Africa? What the fuck?
Paco, Madagascar is Africa.
And to me, Madagascar looks like it broke off where? Lemuria.
Paco,
Lemuria is a real thing, bro.
Paco, is parts of Lemuria Africa?
That's exactly the area that Lemuria was.
So what I'm asking you is this: listen, Paco, if we fast forward, and now the continent is called Africa, what is the closest continent to that island, Paco?
It don't matter. Hawaii near America.
It don't matter. Yeah,
that's America.
Isn't Hawaii part of America? Don't they consider Hawaii part of North America?
By force, yeah.
What you mean? I'm all right, by hook or crook, bro. What I'm saying is it's not connected to the land. Is Puerto Rico considered North America, Paco?
Trump and them strong-armed them, and whoever the president is, you fucking right.
Paco,
strong-arm.
So what I'm asking you is this: if Africans live on Madagascar forever, if they the ones who live there forever,
they still not Africans. They Madagascarians.
But Madagascarian ain't a race of people. If Madagascarians come from Africa. That would be a nationality.
Damn.
That's a nationality you spitting out. That would be something that's new, like nationality, claiming a nation in which you're from. Once you establish your place you're from as a nation.
I mean, obviously it's different in Africa. They got different animals and different vegetation.
But it doesn't
so
matter.
Them dudes would probably be different as well.
What you're talking about is something that's governmental. You're talking about nationality.
That's not governmental. For trees growing out the ground is not governmental, family.
I'm talking about being from...
You talking about governmental, nigga, be real.
I'm talking about claiming Madagascar as your nationality. That would be...
Don't say I'm being governmental and that's what you doing.
Claiming Madagascar as your nationality and saying you're not African, that would be some form of governmental thinking. You would be thinking as a nation and not as a person or as a race of people. Because Madagascar is not a race of people.
It's right off the coast of Africa.
What I'm saying is the people don't come from islands, Paco. People move to islands.
I never said that. I never ever said some people came from islands.
The point I'm making is the people of Madagascar come from where?
What? I don't know.
How don't you know? So you telling me somebody further away from Africa found Madagascar before Africans did?
I'm sure some people found that island on their own, yeah.
Before Africans did.
I mean, I don't know what you're really trying to say, but
what I'm trying to say is this.
If they did, so what?
What I'm trying to say is
okay.
This. If Africans have the longest history on Earth as far as being where they at, if people been in Africa for 300,000 years plus, what I'm saying to you is this. Why wouldn't they have found an island that's 400 kilometers from one of their borders and is further away from everywhere else?
You know that the island that's near India, and you know when they come, they kill white people. They throw spears and they get them up out of here.
All right,
ask them if they Indian. Since it's right off the coast of India. Hold on, no, I'm asking you. Since it's right off the coast of India, ask them if they Indian.
Right, answer your question.
They right off the coast of India, bro. Go over there and just tell them they Indian.
I didn't never tell nobody.
This nigga crazy, man.
Nobody was
Indian. Nigga crazy, yo.
I ain't tell nobody was Indian. I don't know.
The Hawaiian people got wars popping, nigga.
I don't know.
Before they
I didn't tell
American.
Nobody they was Indian. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about overseas India. I'm talking about
nobody Indian. I don't know what you're talking. We talking about Madagascar.
No, overseas. You know the continent of India today that the government called India.
Madagascar. We talking about Australia. We ain't talking about India.
It's an island off the coast of India that when people come, they attack people like such as white people.
Off the coast of India.
Yes, last year they killed a white dude.
Listen, I'm not getting into that. The point I was trying to make is this.
That's not considered India because they're fucking Indian up.
But you're right. All islands don't go to India. Go to the place that they.
So that island is India, but the government claims theirs though.
What I'm saying to you is this: Aborigines, the first out of Africa, the first in Asia and Australia. DNA analysis of a 90-year-old hair sample reveals that Aboriginal Australians left Africa much earlier than Europeans and East Asians. This is Health Journal. The first genome...
Why we adding Europeans? Oh my God.
Did you hear what they said? They left
No,
Africa.
now I don't.
They said they left Africa before. It says, DNA analysis of a 90-year-old hair sample reveals that Aboriginal Australians left Africa much earlier than Europeans and East Asians. We talked about how Asia is connected to Africa. Okay, so that's the point I'm making to you. It says that they left Africa much earlier than Europeans and East Asians. So my point
his theory is cool.
Hold on, let me read this.
It just tell you how old it is, okay.
The first genome analysis of an Aborigine reveals that these early Australians took part in the first human migration out of Africa. They were first to arrive in Asia some 70,000 years ago, roaming the area at least.
Didn't I say that?
Roaming the area, but you just said that the Australians wasn't from Africa. Checkmate.
No, I said they was Asians.
But you,
No,
you fucking nut. No. If it just says, I'm going to read it one last fucking time. It says, DNA analysis of a 90-year-old hair sample reveals that Aboriginal Australians, listen, continue to listen, left Africa, you fucking idiot. Much earlier. No, if you shut the fuck up, you dickhead, and let me finish, I can show you it wasn't 100,000 years ago. It continues to give you dates, fucking asshole. It gives you fucking dates.
Cussing don't make you right, bro.
Nah, you's a fucking nut, man. You want everybody, you just want shit to be what the fuck you want it to be.
Why are you yelling at me,
because you're a clown.
I told you they were the first in Asia.
Clown.
I told you they were the first in Asia.
So why would you just tell me? Hold on. So why would you just tell me that Australians don't come from Africa?
I'm still on that. That's you just yelling because you want to be right about
Paco, now let me show you how fucking dumb you is.
Scientists said,
let me show you how fucking dumb you is, and I'm done with it. The same dude that just told you they was in Asia before Australia is the same thing that told you they came from Africa and went to Australia. You're going to take one, listen, your corny ass going to take one part. You're going to take one part of the information. You're going to take one part of the information. You're going to take one part of the information and say it made you right. Then in the very next sentence what it says, you're going to disregard it.
I am disregarding it came from
Africa. Shut the fuck up. You a lame nigga. You a lame ass nigga then. Because if you can take one article and say this part of the article say I'm right.
Part I like when they said they came
didn't I just accuse you of that the other day?
What? I like the fact that they just told you they came from they the real Asians, them Australians. That I told you mixed with the Inu. I told you this. Every conversation we had.
Now you add your own shit into it. Because we don't have no history of people in Japan but 9,000 years.
I read all this, bro. I already told you. You told me they wasn't Australians. You told me that.
No history of people in Japan but 10,000 years. This is something that happened 70,000 years ago.
I told you under the Yellow River was the Australians' land, nigga.
What I'm explaining to you is you cannot lump Japan in with this. No,
there was a different race of people at
I'm not saying that they wasn't. I agree with you there because by the time they got to Japan, this is what I just told you earlier in this conversation. I want when y'all listen to this, listen to when this phone conversation first started, and I told him that the people of the Senegalese Islands, the people of the Andaman Islands, the people of Australia, these people share fucking genetics with the Ainu. What was that me telling him? That the Africans who left Africa and went to those places, they all come from the same fucking people. They just didn't.
Why did he go over how fast that they came from Africa? Like he didn't get no explanation. He said some hair sample said this, that, and the third.
You didn't let me finish reading. The first genome analysis.
You've been yelling at me. What are you talking about?
The first genome analysis of an Aboriginal revealed that these early Australians took part in the first migration out of Africa. They were the first to arrive in Asia some 70,000 years ago, roaming the area at least 24,000 years before the ancestors of present-day Europeans and Asians. Before the ancestors of present-day Europeans and Asians. So 24,000 years. So 24,000 years before the migrations out of Africa that would lead to Asians and Europeans was the one that led to these people.
Of course.
Okay.
Common sense, right?
Okay. They were also the first to live in Australia. According to the DNA results of 90-year-old hair sample of a young man that linked Aborigines to the first inhabitants of this part of the world about 50,000 years ago. This study, however, is not the first to contradict the popular theory that modern humans came from a single out of Africa mountain, and that's the fucking part where people get it fucked up. They try to tell you that one group of fucking Africans. How stupid is that? If I've been somewhere and I've been making more of myself for over 100,000 years, why would you think, even if you found evidence of one group, why would you think only one group left? What would be the logic in that? To think that one group of people of millions, different groups who do not deal with each other, who do not know each other, who are all chasing down herds, who are all looking for new land because their civilizations are building bigger and are having more children, why wouldn't people just naturally go across land they can cross?
Because everything ain't sweet as you always act like it is?
I'm not saying once other people was already there, it is sweet. I'm not saying that, Paco. Once somebody else is in that land and you come in trying to take it, you got a fight on your hands. We agree there. But Paco, before that other group gets there and the first group gets there, they're going to take the land, right?
I mean, back before guns, you got to take the land. So, who knows?
I'm saying, right, with swords, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And before swords, they had wood and shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's my point. The reason why these fights happen, Paco, is because new niggas come into land that somebody already in. But before somebody was in that land, the black people who left Africa went to all these places, Paco.
I don't know why they had got to come from here, but okay.
Paco, because that's where black folks originated from. And it's just,
I mean, I've never said, seriously, my theory don't know.
You said they're Niger Congo.
Yeah.
even though all black people are.
But even before that, I think the Australians went over there. I mean, I I think the Australians was around for some reason. Maybe they wasn't. I think they were.
We have evidence of them for like 50 to 70,000 years.
I seen some Australian documentaries that knocked my socks off, my nigga.
I'm with
like
you.
Just on how old and that their technology is, nigga.
But what's older than the documentaries and the technology is the oldest bones we ever found there. Those bones that we found in Australia is older than the bones we found in America. We got Australian bones that go back 50,000 years, modern day humans. So we know
that's why I be so hurt over this shit, because they was old niggas they took out.
Agreed.
They were some old ancient bulls.
You just trying to, like, all right, I think I understand what's going on. You trying to say that because they was in Asia first, before they went to Australia, that they had to be Asian. Now, oh, all right.
No, I ain't saying that. I said them, they was on boats, and they went to Asia before anybody. Not before anybody, but...
I'm not going to say that.
No, not before anybody. I ain't saying all that, but I'm saying...
that might have been the furthest somebody went on a boat at that time.
I'm saying they had the first couple of dynasties, nigga. Best believe that. Them and the Inu.
You talking about, yeah, but I'm with you there. In Japan, the Inu was king at one time. They didn't have they didn't have nobody trying to take their shit. And then the people who was trying to take their shit wasn't strong enough. And it's the same thing with the Australians. The Australians only fell when the British came. Before the British, anybody they ever had a problem with, they handled their business.
Yeah.
So that's my point. And that's why Australian Aboriginals is light-skinned today, some of them. Because of that British blood. Because they mixed white amongst the black people who was already there.
Yeah, I damn near think it ain't a such thing. I've seen a couple of them.
I might be able to agree with you. I don't believe nobody is 100% nothing. Unless it's like you said, you come from an island and you ain't never been off that island.
Yeah.
And you still might not be 100% nothing, because we don't know before you got to that island who your ancestors mixed with.
Yeah.
And that's my point. All these different people, when you start talking about light skin, when you start talking about braids, when you start talking about beards, afros, when you start talking about all that shit, that's not exclusive to any one people.
It's not.
So don't use that to describe nobody.
But it is on a certain DNA.
Nah, it depends on...
It is connected to a certain DNA, though. DNA
in your system. Some people got straight hair because they come from straight hair people. Some people have kinky hair because they come from kinky hair people.
Didn't I say the first black dudes have straight hair and dark skin? Didn't I say before even us?
Listen,
I said this stuff.
But that's not us.
I said this stuff.
But that's not us.
Nah, no, that's not.
Okay.
Not at all.
What you talking about is the people that North Africans dealt with.
And they kind of reside in India right now. They in
India too.
And Sudan. They in India and Sudan right now.
You're right, but they not the population of the Sudan. The people who look like me make far more than those people.
Yeah, they ain't got no Swiss Yeah, them people.
I hear what you're saying. I never met nobody like you. I don't got no swag.
I know so much. Yeah, you're fucking right.
Now you don't know.
I know how hard it was for.
Talking about because you.
I know how hard it was for a teacher to teach you now.
I was a better student than you, with the exception of my behavior.
No, you wouldn't shut up. You don't know how to shut up. So you can't be a better student than me.
I'm talking about. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You the one who chose you never.
I've been in class with you. You don't know how to shut up.
The shit you say, you never heard me say. I never told nobody I was no fucking Moor. I never told nobody I was no fucking Native American.
That's on you. I told you wrong all around.
No, you wrong because you believe you those things. That's why this video right here, this video right here is called Native American Hebrew Israelite Moors.
Or Brock.
Or Paco.
Let's sum it up and call this one Brock.
Paco. That's what you believe you are. You believe you're a Native American Hebrew Israelite Moor. That's what you believe.
Like I said, we're going to call this one Brock.
That's what you believe you are.
You believe that everything you just denied. You got something to do with everything.
No, I don't. You don't know that.
I'm sure.
You can't be. You don't know where they took my ancestors from. And you don't know if my ancestors...
Moors?
And you don't know if my ancestors were Moors. You don't know that. The closest I can get is my grandpa. That's the closest I can get. and where he's from in America, in the
like I said, yeah, South Cackalack folks, South Cackalack folks, bro.
But my dad ain't even from North America. I mean,
and this is the Branson family I don't know nothing about.
But my dad's father's family, he got ancestry that's from South America. And I'm not talking about the Native American, I'm talking about the Caribbean islands as well. What I'm saying is you can't look at me and tell. I would have to get DNA evidence.
I mean, some of them dudes was more than shit too.
What are you saying? I'm not disputing that because it's a culture. It's not it's not a race of people.
The devil lived on one of them islands, niggas. That's why I call you Baphomet, bro. Like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you saying?
That's not a race of people. It's a culture.